Parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Something amazing is happening in data management. Even though storage needs are constantly changing, companies are only paying for what they need now. That's because CDW customized a Pure Storage Evergreen One SLA-driven storage-as-a-service solution that delivers enterprise-grade hybrid cloud storage that is effortless, efficient, and evergreen. Simplify storage administration with Pure Storage and CDW. Make amazing happen. Find out more at cdw.com/purestorage.
Oh, great. Just what I needed. More reasons to feel insecure. Have you seen the new ESPN 1063 billboards on I-95? Theoretically speaking with Theo Dorsey and C-Cat. Big smiles, looking all important. Russo and Rizzo with Colin and Mike, like they just solved world hunger. And me? No giant Evan Cohen face gazing down on traffic. Unbelievable. But hey, at least you can listen to us weekday mornings 6 to 10 on Unsportsmanlike along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman right here on ESPN 1063. Because let's be honest, a billboard couldn't contain this level of greatness.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Rafael Devers, the third baseman for the Boston Red Sox, has been a topic of conversation for a while now. After refusing to move positions with Alex Bregman was added to the team, Devers now is on the move. And apparently this time around, at least according to ESPN's Buster Olney, reporting that the Red Sox were going to move on from Devers after he didn't respond to the owner, the man who was paying him a 10-year, $313.5 million contract. So the saga of Devers in Boston ends with Rafael Devers being traded to the San Francisco Giants. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
A post-championship edition of Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Russo here with Mike Rizzo and a cigar in his mouth. Cade Chumson's helping us out behind the glass at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We're up on your radio dial at ESPN 106.3. Also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Next 2 hours, got a packed program ahead. The Panthers win the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals. 6 games, beating the Edmonton Oilers for the second straight year. They did it in Sunrise last night, a score of 5-1. And they were hanging out at Elbow Room down in Fort Lauderdale this morning. They were riding around last night, getting all excited on the ice. Mike and I were in the building. It was a lot of fun. And the Florida Panthers, the bottom line is they dominate again. That's
Better team.
Better team. And the thing about it is the Panthers seemed more motivated than the Oilers did. It's crazy to say that about a championship-level team in a championship-level environment, but the Oilers did not want it. We're not as motivated by the Cup as much as the Florida Panthers were, who had won one last year and were in the Stanley Cup Final a year before that. That is how much of a glaring difference. Edmonton didn't even show up. They didn't even bother.
Oh, 2-0. We never thought, you or I that were in that building, never thought that Edmonton was coming back.
Never. And Edmonton came out, they were aggressive. Panthers kept them out of the center of the ice. They did a good job. Defensively, they were swarming them. And then all of a sudden, Sam Reinhart, as the game of his life, he had 4 goals last night. once they got to 2-0, especially when they got to 3, good night. Yeah. Goodbye.
And Bobby was stonewalling him. Sergei Bobrovsky, he was stonewalling him all night. He said they jumped out. Edmonton tried a couple of chances, but Bobby really was cat save after cat save. I mean, he was unbelievable in that first period when Edmonton was laying on the press. And I liked what you said yesterday when we were at Duffy's and Plantation doing a little specialty programming is, Kyle, whoever scores first, you like their odds in that game.
That's it.
And
whoever struck first, you were going to get a sense of that was the team that is actually showing up today.
And that was and let's give credit to our Panthers. That was Florida.
The Oilers were, time and time again throughout the postseason, loved to make it a monumental challenge to get back into games. They love starting out slow. The entire postseason. Come from behind. Did it against the Kings, did it against the Stars, did it against all these teams. You can't do it against a team like Florida.
No.
Florida's deeper. Their defensive prowess is much stronger. And they're winners. That's it. That team is a bunch of winners. Another championship comes to South Florida. 888-760-3776. Florida Panthers win the 2025 Stanley Cup. Win their second in 3 years being in the actual Stanley Cup final. Where did you watch it? Were you in the building? Were you outside the building? Were you over at Elbow Room this morning? Were you watching it down in Fort Lauderdale? Were you watching it at a Duffy's? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Another championship goes to South Florida. Or another, right?
Yeah.
The rarity of a championship coming to Florida. It almost makes you think. Tampa Bay got one. That's on the west coast of the state. Florida State a couple years ago, sure.
Jameis.
But, of the Florida teams, the Dolphins, we know how that goes. I haven't seen it in 50 years. The Miami Heat had their moments of getting close in the late parts of the 2020 or the early parts of the 2020s. They had the LeBron years, of course. The Miami Marlins, we had the 1997 and the 2003. But Florida, these championships are few and far between. And now Florida was blessed with 2 in a row. So you got to at least try to put it into context of how much Florida was probably due with the amount of teams that they had here in the state.
And let's give credit to the Panther organization because they were the little brother to all the other Florida teams. The forgotten team, right? You had the Lightning in the early 2000s winning championships. Colin, the Florida Gators with Urban Meyer, the Miami Hurricanes in the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s. You mentioned the Buccaneers. You could keep going down the list of Florida teams. The Marlins, as you mentioned, late 90s, early 2000s. The Panthers were the afterthought.
And then when everybody else stinks, then it's the Florida's time to shine.
Yep. And listen, it's good. You could argue South Florida needed the Panthers right now because the Heat, comparatively, pending them trading for a player like Kevin Durant and or another star like Giannis, they could be back in the conversation. But as of right now, there's no South Florida team in the conversation other than the Panthers. The Marlins, are you kidding? The Heat, for everything I just explained. And listen, I love the optimism of Dolphin fans. It's great to me. It reminds me of my fandom. But the Dolphins aren't winning anything this year either. So South Florida needs the Panthers. That's my take.
And going into the game, I wavered on the side of caution because they were taking sizes for the rings. They were deciding where they're going to be for the championship parade. They're deciding how they're going to handle postgame. We were guilty of that. ESPN West Palm, who was in the building, guilty of that. I thought that was bad mojo. And I actually thought, shame on me, thought a little more highly of the Edmonton Oilers in that spot. Too much mojo in the other direction. I don't know. But Florida did exactly what they were supposed to do.
Player like McDavid, you'd never think they're out of it. A player like Draisaitl, they had the 2 best players in the world. You could argue those 2 guys are the 2 best players in the world.
Here's the problem. The problem is we didn't see much of it. McDavid had a good series, but it wasn't a takeover series. And my ultimate takeaway from that, I was thinking about it, was not to get too far into the Oilers. I don't think McDavid's going to be playing there next year. He's not a free agent for another year and a half. But I'd be surprised.
So you think
if the Edmonton Oilers get a sense that he's going to leave, you trade him.
That's where I was going next. You think he's going to, kind of complain that, hey, this needs to be
complain? What are you going to? He would just be like, I want to be moved.
My pushback is they've been to 2 straight cups. Can these other teams say that?
I'd be surprised. if he was back. That was my read. That was my feel. And as for the Panthers side of things, other than Ekblad, Sam Bennett, you have a lot of these guys coming back. You assume that Marchand's going to be back in the mix. Now, all eyes go to 3. All eyes go to 3. This team has an opportunity to three-peat.
Yep.
Now that you three-peat, you're in exclusive conversations amongst professional sports teams. 888-760-3776. Panthers win the 2025 Stanley Cup. Of the recent, let's go the last 15 years, last 20 years. Of the Florida championships, does this taste sweeter than the rest, less sweet? Does 2 in a row sour it a little bit? The one thing I would give as a recommendation to the Florida fans is appreciate it. Because 2 in a row, once you get to that 2 in a row, you almost start to take it for granted.
Right.
Your dominance. They've won 11 of the last 12 playoff series.
I don't think this is a fan base that'll do that, though. Especially the loyal fans who have been there from the start, like Jonathan Zaslow.
Of course.
My God, they're kissing the ground today. They love.
You saw that from the players. The players wanted that championship more than the Edmonton did, and it was another postseason run that was relatively unchallenged. I know Toronto brought them to 7, but that series was never going to be close.
You see where I'm going with this, though, Kyle. This was a tortured franchise. I don't think diehard Panther fans are taking any of this for granted. I did not get that sense in the building.
Are South Florida fans taking this for granted?
Maybe the bandwagoners.
Well,
for sure.
South Florida fans.
Yeah, the bandwagoners for sure. But the diehards, as I've mentioned, Zaz, like they're not. This is like they're on cloud 9 today. You're kissing the ground that you have a chance to go for 3 again, and you're loving every second of it. And you mentioned the players that are already coming back, like. There's no reason that this team wouldn't be in the conversation. I go back to our conversations when they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning. And how many times the Florida team has represented the Eastern Conference. Like, you knew that the Panthers were probably going to make a run after they beat the Lightning after the recency bias. So I think the diehards out there appreciate everything. The bandwagoners is just something to get behind. And you saw that a lot with the Miami Heat. And I think you're seeing it a little bit now with the Panthers.
You see the fans that come out of the where were you guys 5 years ago? Sure.
Right.
But in the building last night, it was a tense environment for that first period, I would say. Even at 2-0, I thought it was tense. Then everybody started to loosen up a little bit once you got into the later parts of that second period. And the crowd really, really got into it. And the crowd was great.
We want the cup.
That was an awesome environment to be a part of. We went on the ice. You know, the thing about the ice is it was weird because they got everybody's chance to, go around with the cup. And then the families come out. We're media, technically, so we go out with the same time as the families. That was a weird situation because you're just on the ice trying to, get a hold of these guys, and they're trying to find their families. But seeing all those guys on the ice, you get a sense that not only do they appreciate it just as much as last time, but you get a sense that this felt harder to them.
Yeah.
They're defending the title felt a lot harder to them. And I think because of that, they appreciated it.
There was relief.
There was a relief. And there was a lot of appreciation for Brad Marchand. That's what Sam Bennett said. He said, we don't win this without Brad Marchand.
Yep.
So there was an appreciation for the new pieces, the new additions. But there's also that sense of camaraderie that I think South Florida teams, period, don't get all that often. And I saw Barkov was today at Elbow Room down in Fort Lauderdale. It's crack of dawn, 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm. That's why
pouring the cup down the balcony.
That's why I brought a stogie in studio today. We're celebrating. Now, I'm not going to light this thing in studio because we'll get in a lot of trouble. But I figured, for a prop today, we're celebrating the championship, and I got the stogie.
That's it. You got to sell. This is a celebratory Russo and Rizzo. The thing about the Florida Panthers that's so fascinating is I doubted them a couple times throughout this because I thought Canada had their chances with Toronto and with the Edmonton Oilers. The worst part about it is Toronto gave them the best shot.
You were Team Canada, man. You really were.
Toronto gave them the best shot. And Toronto was not the best team they played. They let Toronto punch them in the mouth in those first 2.5 games of that series. Other than that, Florida was other than those first 2 games of that Toronto series, Florida was relatively unchallenged.
The third game, though, Kyle, what was it? 2-0 going into the third period?
3-1 in the second period.
It's so like Toronto had a chance to go up 3-0 in that series, and I think that was the put your foot in the sand moment that the Florida Panthers went through.
After that was the finish line. That was the all right, we're done screwing around. And they weren't challenged the rest of the way.
They blitzed them last night.
Blitzed them.
Absolutely blitzing. And Kyle, I've talked to you before about how I love how they play. They all ambushed the goal, and that first Reinhart goal where he stole it, made a move, and then just went top shelf. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff from Reinhart in that game.
It was one of those games where I wish it was better. I was rooting for Edmonton to have a goal or two. 2-2, please. Something interesting. Sue me for wanting to see a better game.
You picked Edmonton too.
I didn't care about the pick, but
I'm not saying you did, but
I just thought it would be a better game. Edmonton rolled over and died. I was disappointed in how they played.
You loved Kyle. I got to get on you a bit. You loved Canada this postseason.
I thought Toronto had a chance, and I thought Edmonton had a chance.
You were Team Canada.
I doubted them every step of the way. You
did with the Panthers,
which is fine. And they proved me wrong. And now they got 2 and 3 years. But now all eyes go to 3. You don't want to fast forward past this. You want to celebrate, of course. But now all eyes go to 3. 2 is sort of no man's land. And how these championship teams, quote unquote, the dynasties, if you want to throw out the word.
I mean, they are.
You want to throw around the word.
What do you mean throw it around? They won 2 out of 3.
The dynasties, if they are one.
Oh.
If the dynasty's 2 championships is sort of in between, all right, all-time great franchise moment versus could be a little forgotten about, maybe. I'm not going to say forgot about, but there's no definition for it. Because I don't think there's a set, clear definition of what a dynasty is for them and whether it's 2 out of 3.
So the only 3-peats in hockey, it was a 5-peat for the Canadians, it was a 3-peat for the Maple Leafs, and it was a 4-peat for the Islanders. Those are the teams that have comparatively won 3 or more. The Canadians, the Maple Leafs, and the Islanders. If the Panthers do win 3 in a row, they go into that territory.
Right.
But my fight back on how they're already a dynasty, they've been to 3 in a row and they've won 2. Listen, if they don't win next year, I'm still going to call them a dynasty. How can't you? They've been to 3 straight.
Well, that's how you then you got to define it. We'll define it on the
Kyle, best 2 out of 3. It's a dynasty. You won the best 2 out of 3.
You're throwing around dynasty. That could be quite loose.
Okay.
That could be loose, no?
I don't know. 2 out of 3 is very impressive. And they were there the year before. That's what I think. So
they
3 straight.
Yeah, they got killed.
I understand. But 3 straight cup appearances and winning 2 out of 3 is very impressive.
888-760-3776 are all eyes on 3. Now for the Florida Panthers, you have a chance at history. They have a chance at establishing themselves as one of the great runs in NHL history. I don't think we're there yet.
Do you call the Heat a dynasty? They won 2 and 4.
I don't think that's not the front of your mind when you mention dynasty. It's not. That's the truth. It's not. You think of the Warriors and you think of the Spurs.
Warriors didn't 3-peat. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, they won 4 titles.
I understand, but they didn't 3-peat.
Well, it's fine. Who is 3-peated? We're talking about nobody who's 3-peated.
I think winning 2 through a 3-4 year time period is a dynasty. The Chiefs, yeah, they've won 3. But,
you're talking about teams that have won more championships.
But 2 out of 3 is still the Heat, I would say, is a dynasty. The Panthers are a dynasty.
Are the Detroit Pistons of the late 1980s a dynasty?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
Is that an era of basketball?
Dude, they should have beat. What was the? And help me out,
No,
Kyle.
Hold on.
The Lakers series,
very close.
They could have won.
That's close, but they were in 4 straight. They were basically there for 4 straight.
Yes, they were a dynasty. The Pistons, winning 2 championships.
How many dynasties are there? You can't have a dynasty every 5 years.
You want to go sport for sport? I consider the Celtics with Russell, the Celtics in the 80s, the Lakers in the 80s.
So you got 3 dynasties in the 80s?
I mean, yeah, comparatively.
Okay.
Would you disagree with that?
I'm just trying to set a definition here. I
guess, and I can see why you think I'm contradicting myself with the teams that won 3. I understand now. I guess my big takeaway is, if you win two.
They haven't done it yet.
I think they have.
They're in the thick of it.
If you win two in a time frame of 3 or 4 years, absolutely. Absolutely.
It gets tricky. Are the Houston Astros a dynasty?
No, because they cheated.
All right.
They're cheating losers.
All right. So
fair.
Okay.
That's how I look at that.
All right. Fine. So that we're counting that out. All right.
But the one that they did win, fair play to them. The one where they weren't cheating and begging.
2022.
Fair play.
Okay. You got to set a definition now. 888-760-3776. They're on their way. We know they're going to be back. We know they're still going to be in the thick of things this time, probably next year. But are we floating that idea yet? Or is this one of the all-time great NHL teams? Are they close? Do they need to do more to get there? Let us know. 888-760-3776. Taking the time out here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, proudly representing the residents of South Florida since 1985, and proud supporter of Inter Miami on ESPN West Palm. Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath has attorneys across South Florida ready to fight for your rights. They've recovered billions for their clients, and you won't pay anything unless you win your case. If you have been injured, call the attorneys at Lytle, Ryder, Smith, Ivy, and Fronrath, 561-867-4117, or online at foryourrights.com. Main office in West Palm Beach.
Wing Wednesday, brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Are you annoyingly inattentive? Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Mattress Firm's July 4th sale is on now. Get a king bed for a queen price and save up to $700. Plus, get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Summer is heating up, and so are the St. Lucie Mets. Clover Park is the top summer destination for sports fans looking to get the most bang for their buck in June and July. Be there for all the excitement on the field and in the stands. June 19th through the 21st is Military Appreciation Weekend. The biggest and best fireworks show on the Treasure Coast is coming to Clover Park on Thursday, July 3rd. Tickets are on sale now at stluciemets.com. See you at the ballpark this summer.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that wants to learn more about careers with Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Get ready, South Florida. It's the 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl. Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at FAU's Flagler Credit Union Stadium. Two of the best group of 5 teams go head-to-head in the ultimate holiday showdown. Over 150 players have gone from this field to the NFL. Who's next? Visit BocaRatonBowl.com for the latest, including when tickets will go on sale. The 12th annual Boca Raton Bowl, Tuesday, December 23rd, 2 p.m. at Flagler Credit Union Stadium.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
888-760-3776, number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Cade Chumsland with us at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. If you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, accident of any kind, my friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, they're the type to fight for you. They don't even charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes, One phone call. Take back control of your life today. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Are we looking at a dynasty? Are we close? Not there yet? 888-760-3776. Do we need to see more? We're in the thick of it. Cade Shumlin, our producer today behind the glass. Cade, your definition of a dynasty is?
So I wanted to look up the real definition of a straight dynasty because according to Wikipedia, you've got sports dynasty and just normal dynasty. And when you're talking about a dynasty, the essence of a word that the sports world has since adopted, it is the sense of a family of rulers over a country for a long period of time. The point is that there are generations or multiple different people that are ruling this one country for a substantial long period of time. I think the key to a sports dynasty is that you need to see the same team with multiple different faces lead a team to championships over a substantial period of time. The Warriors are a dynasty because they did it with a different core group of players almost every time they won it. Different dynasties, you see different people lead the way. This Panthers is not necessarily a dynasty considering you had a majority of the same people. I know there's a couple of new faces, but I don't think that a sports dynasty can only be 2 or 3 years. No one was saying that the Tampa Bay Lightning were a dynasty. The same exact thing just happened 3 years ago with them. I don't think we're there yet. I think there's actually less dynasties than people realize because everyone just sees
it's a loosely thrown around term.
It really is. It really is. I think that term in particular should be for the teams that lasted a lengthy period of time and had multiple leaders step up and win championships for the same franchise.
So your level of dynasty is you need to see, a la the Patriots, being able to win. And granted, the Patriots are the greatest dynasty in sports, so it's a hard comparison. But they had different teams from 2004 to 2016. So there were different levels of teams, different players, and you could make the argument that Patriots had two different dynasties.
Very true.
Cowboys in the 90s, not a dynasty?
Same core group, but I mean.
Okay, and listen, Kate, I understand. I think that was a great take. Guys, if you win 3 in a row, you're a dynasty.
But they haven't won 3 in a row. You're talking about teams that have won 3 in a row.
Comparatively to what Kate is saying, you need to be a dynasty. Like, Kate's saying win in different time periods. So, like, if someone three-peats and that's it for, like, 20 years, we're not calling them a dynasty?
That's not a dynasty.
Okay,
no,
fair.
I don't think the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe are a dynasty.
Didn't Kobe win 2 more afterwards?
He did. Without Shaq
Lakers,
about 5 years later.
The Lakers are a dynasty. The Kobe-Shaq Lakers are not a dynasty.
But what do we call them then, though? They were so dominant.
A dominant team. Exactly. If the Lightning had
they had a couple really bad years in between that. So keep that in mind.
I also think that's a big part of this. The fact that the Chiefs are still a dynasty is because they made 8 straight conference championships. You have to be good in between your years that you don't actually win championships. San Francisco Giants between, help me out, boys, 2010 to 2014, they won in 10, 12, and 14.
Yes.
But in the in-between years, they didn't make the playoffs. That's a huge part of why they're not necessarily considered a dynasty. Had they made the World Series each of those 2 years, that's a dynasty.
I respect it, Kate. I think it's a great outlook on it. I just disagree. I think 2 comparatively in a 4-year period is considered a dynasty for me. Maybe I am part of the problem. Maybe I am loosely throwing the term around. It's if you win 2 in 4 or 5 years.
The Houston Rockets in the mid-90s, a dynasty.
Well, technically, I think it's different because the best player in the world wasn't playing. But according to me, Kyle, if we're going to hold me accountable, then yes. Winning 2 in a row and being there and being in the thick of it for probably in the Western Conference with the Jazz for years after that, yeah, they probably are. You won 2 in a row. Back to back, too.
That's why it's not a dynasty. That's it. Not the Houston Rockets, no.
They won 2 in a row, though.
I agree. That's not my definition. That's your definition.
Can there be a dynasty inside of another dynasty? Were the Cavs a dynasty from 2014 to 2018?
Here's the issue, because they only won once. They're not. As much as I want to sit here and tell you they were, what was impressive about that, LeBron was the dynasty in himself because he went to 9 straight 9 straight finals, right?
That's an argument.
Yeah, LeBron with the Heat and the Cavs, I don't remember the number off the top of my head. Please forgive me. I think it was like 9 straight. So like
at least 8 for sure. Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it. It was the Warrior dynasty versus LeBron. You know, people don't necessarily associate the Cavs with it, which breaks my heart a little bit, especially when Kyrie left. But that's why I get so angry about 2015 when everybody got hurt, when they weren't able to take advantage of a Durant-less Golden State. Didn't have a healthy Kyrie, didn't have a healthy Love, but enough of that.
My perspective, there's an argument to LeBron. But
LeBron himself.
For a dynasty to take form, I do agree with the fact that I think 2 is a little light. 2 in 3 years, I think you're on your way. And the Panthers aren't going anywhere. That's the bottom line. The Florida Panthers are not going anywhere.
It's surprising to me that you brought up the Pistons, if I could go back. Who did they beat to us? They beat the Celtics to ascend to that. So
they beat great teams too.
Yeah,
they beat the Lakers too.
It's why I'm a little shocked that I understand they didn't win 3.
That's a tricky situation because they won amongst 3 dynasties. That's not what the Panthers are doing.
And they put to bed a lot of teams.
Yeah, but that's not what the Panthers are doing.
But the Panthers put to bed the Bruins. Look at some of the teams that they've denied Edmonton and they put the Bruins into shambles.
We watched Edmonton last night. That's a great team. No, they're not in the thick. But I understand what you're saying. But the Pistons, if you want to compare it to other sports, the Pistons specifically, they did it in the thick of 3 of the greatest dynasties in the history of basketball.
And the reason I'm bringing this back to the Pistons is because they won 2. I'm looking for teams that have won 2. The reason I brought up the Miami Heat, because they comparatively won 2 as well. I look at the Heat, the South Florida Miami Heat, as a dynasty. I do. 4 straight NBA Finals, 2 out of 4. You played great teams, too.
I don't know if I'd
You
put it
played
there.
great teams. I understand.
I think LeBron himself is a walking dynasty, but I do not know if the
Fair
Miami
enough.
Heat are.
And if I can make my claim for the Miami Heat one more time, the San Antonio Spurs, I mean, my God, guys, what a team. What a team to lose to.
That's a dynasty.
And agreed. And then the Mavericks, not necessarily a team that lasted the test of time, but we saw Dirk not miss a free throw and put together one of the best postseasons in NBA history. So crazy things needed to happen in order for that team to lose. One of the best postseason performances you'll ever see, and from Dirk, and then San Antonio, who we all agree is a bona fide dynasty, and had a rising star in Kawhi Leonard come out of nowhere.
Are you trying to excuse LeBron out of 2
I
titles?
am. Absolutely. I'm trying to excuse him out of the Cleveland shenanigan because, listen, Kevin Durant.
Oh, my God, please. All right, enough of this. All I'm saying is if you're sitting here ready to crown a dynasty off of 2 straight titles, I don't know if I'm there yet. I think they're well on their way. The good news is they're in the thick of it. But I sort of lean on the side. I don't think Cade's definition is black and white. I don't think Cade's definition of you have to do it with different faces, different names, different teams. It's all about the franchise still being there. I don't necessarily know if I'm there, but I understand the sentiment. I do think that separates dynasties from each other. When the Spurs can do it with, the Duncan and have Parker be the best player in the early part and have Robinson here, and then all of a sudden, 15 years later, Kawhi Leonard's their best player. That is interesting. The Patriots, same thing. I could agree with that. I think that separates.
And there's a constant. To that point, there's a constant. The constant for the Patriots is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. The constant for the Spurs were the big 3 and Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker.
Yeah, but Ginobili
and
and Parker
Popovich.
weren't there on the early part of the 90s. So that's why.
Greg Popovich, and then finally Greg Popovich, obviously the Admiral.
So that separates dynasties. But I think you win 3. I think you get the card. I don't know if I'm ready to give the card to the Panthers.
There's 2 parts of a dynasty. There's the dominance and the longevity. I think Rizzo is stressing more of the dominance, and maybe Russo is stressing a little bit more of the longevity.
I'd like to see both. There's no doubt in my mind that the Panthers this has been as dominant of a 2-year runs we've seen.
And my fight back is you turn on the Stanley Cup Finals for the last 3 years. Who's there? That's dominance. That is absolute dominance to have one team there 3 times in a row. And that's why I'm arguing the Miami Heat. They lose 2 as well, but they were there 4 times in a row.
I think that's a tough card to hand out. I think that's an exclusive club.
Fair.
That's an exclusive club to be in, and I'm not sure if I'm ready to say that for the Florida Panthers. 888-760-3776. Reactions to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final over the Edmonton Oilers. Last night, 5-1 final score. Panthers won in Sunrise. Are you going to the parade? I think it's on Sunday, 12 o'clock. Mike, you'll be there, right?
I'm TBD. I'm TBD. TBD.
I will not.
But
I will not.
You will
be
not
there.
be there. I'm TBD on that. If I'm not there, though, I promise this stogie that I have in studio, I will smoke it on the patio of my apartment in honor of the Panthers.
Cade, will you go to the parade?
I'm also TBD.
Yeah, Cade, and I'm saving the stogie for the parade, and if I don't go to the parade, I'm going to have to figure something out.
Saving the cigar like you won? Like you won a title?
Call him. I'm a native of South Florida now. I'm a bandwagoner. Cade,
Your
is that
TBD,
fair?
He's
Cade,
got the driver's license.
Cade, I do have a Florida license.
Your
I'm
TBD
legal.
as well.
Yeah, I would have definitely rather been there last night than the parade. I know some people disagree.
Yeah.
But
You know what? I'm happy with my circumstances at the moment. I made my peace with the fact that I'm not going to be at the parade, and I got to see it last night.
you got to be on the ice.
Cade,
It was cool.
Cade,
It was cool.
Yeah, can I, dude? So my shoes that I had on last night, I call them my Pistol Pete's. They're like dress shoe slides. They don't have installation. Dude, my feet were frozen on the ice. Like to the point where I was driving home and I had the heat on my feet. And you can relate. Your family's from Minnesota. For my South Floridians who don't know what a heater in a car is, you get heat on your feet. And I had to do that. Dude, I was frozen, Kate Chumslin. Frozen. We were on that ice for an hour.
888-760-3776. Are we ready to crown them, the Florida Panthers, a dynasty team? Are they on their way?
Cade, can I label Colin as a party pooper?
Why?
He picked against the Panthers the entire way through. He went Team Canada with Toronto. He picked Edmonton last night. He picked Edmonton in the series.
Hang on with me.
Hold on. Let me finish, brother. Colin picked Edmonton before the season started, or if the series started, and he picked Edmonton to win last night, and now they've won 2 out of 3, and he's telling me they're not a dynasty. Man, tough crowd.
Nah, I'm 100% on Rizzo's boat right here.
Tough crowd.
I pick against my team all the time, whether it's because you actually believe they're going to lose or just karma. It's just, that's how it rolls.
I thought it was karma last night when everybody was sizing up the ring finger, asking what the plans were for the post-Game 6 parade before the game even started.
Was a little premature, but
it was a little premature, but we were dead wrong.
From my understanding, the Cup didn't go to the beach until, 6?
We went to the elbow room, the bar.
Okay, did not go to the actual beach, though. And I know the elbow room.
It might have went to the
elbow
beach.
room is like on the beach. I understand how Lauderdale works, but I thought I was going to have to go on the beach immediately after the game. And thankfully, that wasn't the case. I didn't have an outfit, by the way. Remember we were talking about
if I did not have an outfit to go to the beach. Go
60-40 was more like 0%.
If Brad Marchand tells you to get in the water, Rizzo, you're getting in the water.
If Brad Marchand personally called me out, Mike Rizzo of Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
If he pointed you're getting in the water. You're doing it.
Yeah, I have no choice. He called me out. I got to be a man of my word.
Got to get in the water.
I'm a man of my word.
Got to get in the water.
What movie? Anyway.
Start your day off with a victory over at F45 downtown West Palm Beach. They got locations in Wellington as well. F45, you show up. It's a 45-minute workout class. High-intensity interval training. You're just supposed to get your heart rate up, get a sweat going, feel good about the rest of your day. They got 2 coaches on site making sure you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You follow along the exercises on the screen. You're in, you're out, you blink, it's over, and you feel great about the rest of your day. They have classes in the morning, class in the afternoon, fitness levels of all kind. Go get started today. Get your first 3 classes for just $30 at the Wellington or downtown West Palm Beach location. That's F45. Find a studio near you. Check out their Instagram, F45 downtown West Palm Beach. Russo and Rizzo back after this on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Does your business leave a lasting impression? Attractive, eye-catching signs help you stand out from the crowd and create a strong brand identity. Our team at Signorama West Palm are experts in helping your business get noticed and get effective signage in front of your potential customers. Our team can turn your blank windows or plain vehicles into money-making branding machines by drawing customers' attention to your business. So if you're looking to leave that lasting impression, call us 561-687-7993 or visit SignoRamaWPB.com.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies, and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Get ready to elevate your driving experience with the all-new 2025 Range Rover Velar P250 Dynamic SE. A stunning blend of luxury performance and technology that will make every drive unforgettable. Right now, you can lease the new Velar for just $809 per month for 36 months. Yes, only $809 a month for a luxury SUV that sets new standards on the road. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take advantage of this incredible offer. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
The weather is heating up and summer is here. Stay cool with EDS Air Conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSisyes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe, little mama. I see you.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, we saw a champion crowned last night in Sunrise. If you want to see a champion crowned in Boca in December, you get the Boca Bowl coming back to town for its 12th year. 2025 Boca Raton Bowl. The date and time is announced Tuesday, December 23rd at 2 p.m. at FAU Stadium. Game's going to air on ESPN, so you can watch it there. Two of the biggest and best teams from the group of five will battle it out for their shot at the title. More information at BocaRatonBowl.com. Follow along on Twitter and Facebook. Twitter at Boca Bowl and Facebook.com/Boca Bowl for more updates as we inch closer to football season. The 2025 Boca Raton Bowl, it's Tuesday, December 23rd at FAU Stadium. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Cade Shumslin with us at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Florida Panthers, dynasties. Mike says, yes, I think the card is still in my possession. I don't think I'm handing it to the Panthers yet. I think I got to see one more in another next couple of years. I think I'm there. But in terms of dominance, there's no stretch. There's no stretch of the imagination that they weren't the most dominant team in hockey by a long shot over the last 2 years. 888-760-3776. Number to get into Russo and Rizzo. We go to New Jersey, Kelowna, New Jersey. Welcome into the program. What do you got for us?
Hey, guys. Hey, first of all, Colin, will you be in Bar A next month on the 25th? Are you going to go?
Bar A at the Shore? Yeah, I think I will be there.
Yes. Oh, well, if we can see you again, hopefully Mike can come as well this year. Hopefully.
I don't think Mike's coming this year, but yeah, I'll give Mike your regards. Somebody's got to do the show. Right.
On the dynasty thing, I think you need to win 3 to be considered a dynasty, in my opinion. But my biggest thing is I'm not going to call a team a dynasty if they win 3 and another team wins more championships. In the 80s, the Lakers won 5. That to me is a dynasty in the team of the 80s of the Lakers. In the 70s, yes, Miami won 2, won the 3 straight. Pittsburgh was a dominant team in football in the 70s, won 4. So to me, I won't call a team a dynasty if another team wins more championships than that team, in my opinion.
Oh, so you think it's comparative? So you think that you could only hand out one per 10 or so years, and therefore if there's somebody that's been better than you over the last 10 years, that's who you give it to?
Yes, the position. They got a good run when a couple of championships, maybe 3. But if another team wins more, then to me that is the dynasty of that era, the 80s, 90s, 2000s, or whatever you want to call it.
Good call, Cologne. Appreciate you chiming in on Russo and Rizzo. Now, the one thing that I would say that's interesting there is, the Broncos won 2 in the 90s. The Cowboys won 3. And you had the stretch of the 80s and the 90s, especially 95, where the San Francisco 49ers were in the thick of things year in and year out as well, closing out a 15-year dynasty on that front. So that's a lot of dynasties at once. And I don't even know if I'm ready to throw the Elway Broncos in there as a dynasty.
And the Cowboys, too, the 80s, the 90s. The Cowboys were dominant,
right.
Absolutely dominant.
And they won 3 and 4 years.
Uh-huh.
So from that stretch, where Cologne is saying it has to be comparative, where you could only hand out one card per 10 years, I think it's situational. All I'm saying is I think we got a little bit ways to go. I don't know. I don't think – what's funny, too, is I don't think that I am the Panther hater. I really don't.
Oh, you are.
No,
it's
not.
all right.
Kate
agrees with me. So
I don't think I'm the Panther hater.
Since when did I agree with you? I think I specifically said I agreed with Colin.
You said last segment you agreed with me.
No, he meant that he doesn't agree with you that they're a dynasty.
Well, listen, everyone in what I call the bullpen here at ESPN West Palm called Colin a hater in the break. Andrew.
What they say about you?
Nah, stop it. We're not going there. We're not going there. I said we're not going there today. People
said Mike was, not watching the game.
I watched the whole game. Watched the whole game. Don't know what you're talking about.
Not watching the game.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. All right. All I'm saying, some unhappy heads in the ESPN West Palm studios with Mike Rizzo's etiquette.
Well, listen, Christina Cassandra would get mad at me if I sneezed. So there's that, too. All right? If I sneezed, Christina would get... I don't know why. I don't know. Christian's the same way with me. You know what? And I gave you credit, man. You don't get you don't get mad at me. There's some people, I guess, that I just trigger, and I think Christian and Christina are those people. The smallest thing I can do could trigger them to the moon.
I'm curious about this. We're going to bring Christina on the other side of the break at the top of the hour, and I'm curious on her reaction to what Mike's saying there. Let's hash this out.
But you know what I'm saying, though.
You've seen it. I'm the mediator.
Okay, no comment. You've seen it.
No comment. I'm the mediator. I'm the mediator. Some people didn't like Mike's performance at the game. Didn't like his performance at the game. Not paying attention.
I paid attention.
Talking with Christian and Theo, chatty Cathy's, huh?
Yeah. Listen.
Now you got to make it up. Here's how you're going to make it up. You got to go to the parade.
I'm in a pickle for a couple of reasons.
Well, you're coming back from Cleveland.
I'm in a pickle. Yeah, I got a wedding back at home,
and you got an opportunity to come in earlier.
Right.
I think you have to.
Right.
I think you have to.
Right. I told you and as I told everyone in the bullpen, I want to have this moment with the team. You know what I mean? I got the stogie. I want to be able to smoke the stogie and celebrate the championship with my ESPN West Palm family. And I feel like I owe it to them to be where everyone's going to be during the parade. So I got to figure something out. I got to call them tough spot.
Well, you have an opportunity. We found a flight.
Yeah, it is. We have the flight and it's cheap. So the problem is, Kyle, you know how much I spend on that next flight for the weekend after in Colorado. So there's that factor to it. But I could swing it. And I probably will. I will.
You have to.
I'll swing it.
You have to.
I'll swing.
Now, the thing is, I'm a bit of a hypocrite.
No, you're not, though. You're not swinging it.
I'm a hypocrite saying this because that is actually, there's no cheap flights. I'm coming back from Chicago that day.
Well, Chicago flights comparatively.
And you lose an hour coming back.
Yeah.
So, from that perspective, I don't think I'll be able to do it. But
it's a long flight. It's like
it's 3 hours, 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude.
But I don't think I'll be able to make it. But I was in the building last night, so I think I got enough of what I was looking for. But, it is a shame because I knew last year was a hurricane, but apparently it was a lot of fun. But I'm curious, Fort Lauderdale for a sport parade? I mean, you don't get that all that often in South Florida. When's next? There's no guarantee the next time that you and I are going to be around in South Florida for a title.
It could. Listen, if the Heat play their cards right and Pat Riley turns into the Pat Riley of the mid-2000s and the 10s, we'll see.
Well, let's pose this question. The Panthers right now, these champions right now, this year and the last year, where do they rank? Let's leave it. You want to leave it in the last 25 years? Of the Florida champions, the state, sports,
okay.
Where do they rank?
That's a tough one.
Let's define the criteria before what I mean by that. About impact on the community, dominance, how great they are at their sport, there's a couple that come to mind. That 2012-2013 Heat team was 2012 specifically against that Thunder team. All-time great team.
They were unreal.
The Dolphins, forget it. There's no Dolphin team on the list. But
not in the last 25 years.
Right.
Agreed.
And that Marlin team in 2003.
It was fun.
You had the Florida college football team, the 2013 Seminoles, and you had the Florida teams of the mid-2000s.
Dude, the Herb Florida teams.
Right. And then you get the Florida Panthers of this year and last year. There's a lot of great teams there. Not that many to choose from.
Yep.
I don't know where Florida Panthers sort of ranks among that. I think in terms of dominance, I think they'd be near the top.
Yeah. I think so. What's the question? Give me the question again.
Where do you rank it?
Where do I rank
those
it?
Florida champions?
I think the Heat are higher. Now, if the Panthers win 3 in a row, it's got to be Florida. It's got to be them. They win again next year. But if the Panthers don't win next year and kind of disappear, similar to how the Heat did after winning 2, I'd probably put LeBron and Wade and Bosh. Probably would. What are you laughing?
I don't know. It's just in terms of importance. It's just I'm trying to think of importance there. Kay, do you think that Florida Panther team, the championship, what we've seen the last 2 years, do you think that rivals some of the other champions that we've seen in the state of Florida the last 25 years?
A few of them. So I want to get your parameters right. Are we talking professional or professional and college?
Let's include college.
And we're including the whole state of Florida.
Let's do that. It depends where you're going to go with this.
Okay,
yes.
Because I think the Gators, both football and basketball in the late 2000s, is some of the most dominant sports we've seen.
When they went back to back.
Early 2000s, right?
Mid-2000s.
Wait, 2006, 2007.
Okay. Mid-2000s. And then I believe basketball was 07, 08 or 08, 09, something like that.
Well, the same year. It was the same year. They beat Ohio State in football and basketball.
07.
Same year.
That was 07.
So whether you're talking basketball or football, the Gators in the mid to late 2000s, I would put closer to the top. But I think when you're talking about the overall perspective of all championships, these Panthers, to do it twice against Connor McDavid, it's pretty darn impressive.
So that's up there for you.
I think it's up there for me. I just wanted to throw out the Gators one because you guys hadn't mentioned it yet.
Yeah, the Gators are, you're right, beating McDavid in this moment. It depends how McDavid's career now pans out. We have questions now about where McDavid's career is going to go from here.
Well, the Gators, too, they won multiple with Urban Meyer, and they two-peated in college basketball, correct?
Yeah.
That's unheard of. Winning 2 in a row, obviously, as Kyle, you have your UConn shirt on today. Obviously, that's like unheard of territory. You don't see a lot of teams that go back-to-back in college basketball.
Yeah, it's tricky. I don't know where I'd put it, but it's up there just because I think the McDavid thing has something to do with it. Because I think McDavid and that Edmonton team, maybe that'll be the what could have been. They will be that team that they had opportunities, and they brought them to 7-6. Like it wasn't. They didn't get swept and then lost in 5.
But Kyle, you told me too, like you didn't think that Edmonton, they were world beaters, that the team wasn't world beaters.
They weren't. Maybe we have the wrong perception. Maybe I do, because they looked flat. They looked lifeless against the Panthers. I was disappointed in them, and I thought they were excellent against Dallas in the Western Conference Finals. They were excellent against Dallas.
It went 6 games. Game 5 and Game 6, it was disgraceful for them. Absolutely, especially in first periods. I mean, Edmonton was miserable in first periods throughout the entire series. They were able to overcome it in Game 3 and win that one. But Colin, outside of Game 3, the Panthers dominated. They really did. Outside of that game coming back to Sunrise, going to overtime, and Draisaitl scoring the goal, the Panthers dominated the whole series.
Right.
Even the game that Edmonton was able to win at home went to overtime in Game 1.
I understand that, but based on what I saw, I thought Edmonton was the odds-on favorite coming in. I thought their pattern of success, who they beat, how they beat them, I thought that was more impressive than what Florida did on the flip side of beating Tampa, beating Toronto in 7, and then beating the Carolina Hurricanes. I just thought that the stretch of beating the Knights and the Stars, who were playing as well as they were, and the Kings was just a little bit more impressive, and I thought they were on a mission. I was wrong, because it was abundantly clear that not only is there a talent discrepancy between the teams, there's a goaltender discrepancy between the teams, there's also a hustle discrepancy between the teams. I think that's the biggest thing.
Well, McDavid said after the game that the team didn't quit and they never stopped fighting. Colin, I don't want to say that. I got to be careful here. I think the final period
Florida just had them. They had them.
They really did.
And once you got to that third period, especially late second period, they really started to roll. Because they were aggressive in that first period.
When it got to 3, that's when I think it broke it.
They were very, yeah, you're right.
When it got to 3, it broke Edmonton's spirit.
Right. You're right. They were very aggressive in that first period. They were, and I give them credit for that. But they couldn't get anything in the center of the ice. McDavid couldn't get anything going with speed heading downhill. Couldn't get any of that going. They had no momentum. None. I think that team might be a what could have been. Because I think that McDavid is a ticking time bomb to stay on that team. And you lose McDavid, oh, boy. You're going to have some real problems. And they might, because he's a free agent until next year. So if you want to get value out of him, you got to trade him now.
You got to get him now.
You got to trade him now.
You don't think he'll sign long-term and want to embrace Edmonton?
I don't get that sense. That team let him down a lot. And he didn't play well that last night, but that team did let him down.
Are hockey players like NBA players?
No, it's not been. He signed an 8-year contract there. He's going to play. He's played out most of the contract. I mean, this guy's going to play. But, like, great players get traded. Gretzky got traded.
Right.
So it happens. But I would, if I had to put a bet today, my prediction, I don't think McDavid's going to be playing for the Oilers next year. That would be my prediction. I think the Panthers broke them. You lose two years in a row like that, ooh, tough spot. But we got the NBA Finals coming up. You got the College World Series in the thick of it right now. You got the Club FIFA World Cup. Go get started on the Hard Rock Bet app today. Go download the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Hard Rock is great because they got all the profit boosts. We were in the building last night. I put together a little parlay. It didn't hit, but I thought the over would be 6.5. How about that? 6.5. We were sweating out the over at 5-1 towards the end. But Hard Rock Bet, you could get and put involved with the over-under, team parlays, player props. They literally have it all covered. If you want to bet Australian Football League, you want to bet cricket, table tennis, Hard Rock has you covered. Best part is you get $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit, which can be a parlay, a prop, over. Battle of the bets last night. The pot getting nice and big. All you can do is take one side or the other, and you get a piece of the big pie. You get a piece of the pot. If your side wins, you get your cash earnings back. That's Hard Rock Bet. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus, physically present in Florida. The wager. Terms and conditions apply. Considered by cable. Call 1-888-ADMIT IT. We'll do a little 5 at 5 on the flip side. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, maybe a little Christina Costanza. We'll see. We'll take a time out here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Wing Wednesday. Brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Banyan Printing. For 47 years, the trusted partner for all your printing, mailing, and signage needs. And 2025 just brought something big to Banyan. Introducing Banyan's new press. Bigger, faster, and more competitively priced than anything you'll find anywhere in the Palm Beaches. Think variable data postcards, bulk mailings, and high-quality print on stocks up to a 24-point board. Banyan Printing. Visit banyanonline.com and discover how your business's printing materials can get bigger and better.
Congratulations to the Florida Panthers, Stanley Cup champions.
Florida goes back-to-back, Jack.
Unbelievable.
Consecutive cups for the Cats.
Congrats to the Florida Panthers, winning the Stanley Cup championship back-to-back.
A resort destination beyond compare, yet conveniently close to home. The Breakers Palm Beach offers everything you desire with the service you deserve in a breathtaking oceanfront setting. Immerse yourself in unparalleled seaside glamour and enjoy all the Breakers has to offer as you create lasting memories with those who matter most. The best part, you don't have to travel far to feel worlds away. Visit thebreakers.com or call 1-800-BREAKERS today.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit one checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Marlin's Flanagan's Fest is back. Saturday, June 21st. It's one of the most anticipated nights of the season, featuring the coveted Flanagan's Marlins jersey. Only available through a special ticket package. The first fans through the gates also get a free limited edition Marlins Flanagan's Cup. And yes, Flanagan's food will be served at select concession stands while supplies last. Jerseys sell out fast. Lock in your tickets now at marlins.com/Flanagan's.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Did you miss Theoretically Speaking? Don't tell me it's Aaron Rodgers. I will walk out of this studio. I will walk out of the studio. I don't want to talk about Aaron Rodgers right now. I'm having a good day.
Aaron Rodgers is signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I thought you were a serious organization. Mr. Rooney, why would you do this to your loyal fans? I think this is Mike Tomlin deciding I want to lose as many games as possible next year. Aaron Rodgers is bad at football, and he's obviously not that committed.
It's Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2, here on ESPN 1063.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Teams are battling for the championship, and there's no better place to get in on the intensity than ESPN Bet. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with the promo code JOEQ, that's JOEQ, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 1063.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy!
Light him up, Colin!
Second hour, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 1063 with Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Cade Shumslin at the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. If you missed any of the program today, go listen back. Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. Listen in full there. Or watch back at ESPN West Palm on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. You can watch it all there. You can listen to it all there. Got another hour coming up. Going to be jumping around a little bit. I'm looking forward to this. Mike Rizzo will take the reins. No Christian Cat today. He's on sabbatical, despite him being on the ice with us last night. No idea where Christian is. You have an idea?
That's part of number one with the 5 of 5%.
Let's do a little 5% by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
So our producer and good friend Christian Cat is not here today. We got our good buddy Kate Chumslin behind the glass here at the City Place Studios. Boys, I heard food poisoning. I heard a couple things, but if you're watching on the YouTube stream right now, Kate has a picture, and I think we found out where Christian Cat is. Is that Christian Cat hoisting the Stanley Cup trophy?
That it is. We have a theory, according to our own very Theo Dorsey, that Sea-Cat, the cat himself, was celebrating the Stanley Cup today with the Panthers down in Fort Lauderdale.
Is that a good reason to miss work? Probably.
That's up for you guys to decide.
That's probably okay.
I'm good with it. Regardless of why.
That's not why.
Listen, Christian and I put in a shift when everybody was out for the 7-on-7 and whatnot. And listen, if Christian needed a day today, the kid needed a day today. I'm not going to get on him on that. But how about that? That picture is hysterical. And for all of you that want to know what we're talking about, go to the YouTube stream.
It's an AI
Russo and
picture.
Rizzo. Yeah, it's an AI picture of Christian lifting the trophy, and it's hysterical.
Colin.
Yeah, he ruined the
I gotta
joke.
help. I gotta help people. I gotta help people.
You
I
ruined.
gotta help people. You know how bad AI, how dangerous AI is now.
It is
It
very
is
much
so dangerous.
Chat GPT.
I see new videos by the day where I get heavily concerned at the validity of what I am watching. It's gonna get worse and worse. 5 years from now, you're not going to know what is real. It's going to be ridiculous.
But
I don't understand.
But yeah, Christian, like I said, he was in good spirits last time when we saw him. Now, I was worried about his parking spot, and it turns out I think his car was okay. Brian Rowitz, our content director and our boss, him and I put it at 50-50 of his car getting towed. And thankfully, it wasn't towed. It was. Let's put it this way: it was a makeshift spot for Christian. Took a lot of you-know-whats to park there. I would have never done it. Are you into making your own parking spots? Are you that guy?
No.
Never, right?
No.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy. And you're also asking for something to happen to your car. You know?
Yep.
You're asking for something to happen. You're asking for a key. You're asking for somebody to mess with your tires. Pass on that. All right? Don't be a hero. What's number 2?
Number two
is the Panthers in general. We've talked a lot about dynasties. We talked a lot about what it takes in order to become a dynasty. The betting odds favorites for the Stanley Cup. Obviously, the Florida Panthers are up there. Boys, my question to you, outside of the Panthers, what team are you willing to put up there that has a real shot of winning? I was going to say Edmonton, but Colin, the reason I'm adding this today, everything you told me about maybe McDavid not wanting to be there anymore. But at the same time, like you brought up a great point. I don't have a good team to put in there other than the Panthers. Like I'm not on the Eastern side. I'm not willing to put and I'm sorry if my brother's listening, works for the organization. I'm not willing to put Tampa there. I'm not willing to put Toronto there. I'm not willing to put any of the teams on the Eastern Conference side that I saw the Panthers run through. You could go with the Dallas Stars. You could go with a couple of teams on the Western Conference side. But the Panthers, boys, I think are the low. I think they're the only answer here. I do. I think they're the only answer here for a Stanley Cup favorite.
That's it. You got to do it that. I know Hard Rock Bet put it at 10-1, so good odds. And they put it at 10-1 so you can go. People can get started and place that bet now if you think the Florida Panthers are going to come back this time next year and win 3 in a row. So you want the odds there. It's over on the Hard Rock Bet app. But you're probably right. That's it. I don't have a reason to go elsewhere. The Panthers might lose, one or two guys, but that's going to be mostly the same team. A deep team, back and hungry for more. As long as Maurice can get them ready to rock and roll and get them as hungry as they were this past Stanley Cup, then I think they're going to be just fine. So that would be my takeaways. From what I saw in the second one, I have a hard time seeing them, kind of being full after 2 instead of 3.
Number 3.
I want to go to the NBA side. I don't know if you saw this, Colin, but LeBron has been the topic of conversations talking about ring culture. In a nutshell, LeBron said he thinks it's ridiculous that you can't compare guys like Steve Nash and Charles Barkley's of the world who don't have rings to the all-time greats. And Stephen A. had a strong opinion on this on First Take this morning.
Everybody universally recognizes him as one of the top 3 players in the history of basketball. What the hell else do you want? A diaper and a bib? There's nothing else to deny him. And everybody recognizes that. It's factually incorrect when they walk around acting like he's been devalued. It is not true. It is not true. Why did you depart Cleveland to go to Miami and join forces with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade to get one? Why did you depart from there to go back to Cleveland? Because LeBron only went back to Cleveland for one reason: to resurrect his reputation and his stature, because it wasn't that he departed from Cleveland, it's that he didn't deliver the chip when he departed. So he went back to erase a more than half-century curse on that area in professional sports because they hadn't captured what? A championship. But now that you've got it, all of a sudden, you really don't understand why it's of so importance. Nonsense. He understands why.
That was Stephen A. Smith being critical of LeBron James, who criticized the discourse around ring culture in the NBA. LeBron said a ring is a team accomplishment and pushing back to the idea that a player's individual greatness is measured by how many championships he wins. Kyle, what's your take on all this? Are you siding with Stephen A. to an extent? Does LeBron have a point here? What's your two cents on this?
I think both sides do have a point. I think basketball is a legacy-oriented sport. It's a sport that is organized by your hardware, by the amount you've won, by the amount of awards you've individually won, by how good the teams that you have played on have been. So I think there's a length to that yes, it helps careers knowing that they're all-time great winners, because all of the all-time greats have been great winners. But to that same token, you can't just forget about Charles Barkley and the Steve Nashes of the world, who never got an opportunity to win a title when they're still all-time great players. But the truth of the matter is, nobody is putting Nash and Barkley in any sort of top 15 lists because of the fact, and not excluding, but everything about it, yes, they're probably not as good players, but they're MVPs. But they don't have championships. They don't have the legacy. They didn't put together the resume. It's a resume. That's it. You got to put together a resume. Why do we hold back Marino? Not because he's a bad individual player. It's because he never won the big one. The same thing with every sport. You have to win hardware in order to solidify your legacy. The fact that LeBron is trying to denounce it, I don't necessarily think I agree with that, but I also agree with the statement that we can't forget about the guys who never won one.
I think LeBron is just tired of hearing the 6-ring conversation with Michael. I think that's what this comes down to. You know my take on this, Colin. I'm not going to go into it. I think LeBron's the greatest player of all time, and it has nothing to do with championship rings. So, I get what he's saying there, but in order to be the best, people look at silverware, and I think it's that simple. I think LeBron's tired of the conversation, but when Stephen A. fires back with why he went back, why he went to Miami, why he went back to Cleveland, why he went to the Lakers, it's hard to argue that. And I think these two, I'll say this again, Stephen A. and LeBron need to duke it out. They need to go on a set. They need to go at each other's necks, and they got to figure the beef out.
Number 4.
Moving on to the parade coming up on Sunday. You got the Panthers parade coming up in Fort Lauderdale. Colin not going to be able to attend. I am trying to attend. Boys, where do you put championship parades? Are they important? Is this something you want to be at? If it's your team, you've never been to one?
No, I've never been to one.
So I went to the 16 in Cleveland, which was a lot of fun. The one, Colin, that sticks out to me is that Chicago Cubby one. Just because how many people were there. I wasn't there, but my personal opinion on it is I think it's great for the city, especially for a city that is starving for championships. Like the Panthers is going to be fun because the Panthers, as I mentioned, they were an afterthought in the state of Florida. They were an afterthought. Now they win 2 in a row. There's some serious buzz, and you want to celebrate that. Like the Patriots and the South Boston. Let's put the. I don't think a parade in Boston means as much to a parade in Sunrise, Florida, a team that's not used to winning championships.
I've never been to one. I don't have a lot to compare it to.
God, Kate, have you been to a championship parade? Am I asking the wrong guys here?
You might be. I'm from Orlando, my guy. Hasn't been a parade in my area in a long time.
I am asking the wrong guys. To answer my own question, guys, parades are great. It's people coming together. It's a community coming together, celebrating a championship, celebrating their team that you root for and that you went through blood, sweat, and tears with. The one I really wanted to go to was one in Columbus this year with the Buckeyes. Neither here nor there. Parades are a special time, and I'm looking forward to being down in Sunrise with the team,
get the flight.
The ESPN Westball team.
Get the flight
as we inch closer here.
Get the flight
to Sunday.
Number 5.
And Cade wants to take over number 5.
Oh,
go ahead, Cade.
Yeah, I love this headline. Just dropped this morning. So actually, yesterday unsportsmanlike, which you can hear with Evan Cohen, Chris Canty, Michelle Smallman, 6 to 10 a.m. They had Adam Schefter on, and Adam Schefter broke headlines by saying that he was going to be an on-course commentator for the Travelers Championship coming up this weekend, and it was just announced this morning he will actually be a part of Rory McIlroy and Keegan Bradley's group.
Really?
Thursday, 10:30 a.m. at the Travelers Championship. What are you looking forward to most about Shefty on the golf course?
Well, I'm curious to see how he operates. Is he still going to be Mr. NFL? Because obviously he doesn't stop working. That's the interesting part about that. What if he gets a big story? Does he bail?
Drop it. He would drop it right there.
He would drop it right then and there, right?
Yeah.
He probably has an NFL Network, TV cam set up off to the side, right? So
No.
part of me
Guys.
hopes that hold on, these guys don't stop. These guys do not stop.
Well, that's why you have like
funerals, weddings, you name
Time out.
it. The phone is on.
Colin, you're a manager here with ESPN West Palm Beach and Good Karma Brands. When you're out of your specific job, you have backups. His backup's probably Peter Schrager, Field Yates.
There's no backups in that business, I don't think.
Well, Field Yates and Peter Schrager can handle a hit of breaking news. He'll text them, hey, this is what happened, and this is what's going on. They'll be able to handle it.
He wouldn't do that.
Shefty would have a mic in his hand. He's an on-course commentator. PGA Tour would be the social network to break the news for him.
What I'm saying is other people would have to step up. Other people would have to see. Guys, he has an obligation to the course.
No,
he has an obligation to the.
He has an obligation to his job, and then he's a guest.
There are guys. You're allowed to take days off and have backups.
No, not that job. Not that job. That guy's
you
never taken
would
a day
know,
off in his life.
You would know better than I would.
That
but
guy's
I'm
never
assuming
taken a day off in his life.
I am assuming that Peter Schrager and/or Field Yates could be able to handle this simple breaking news of this is what happened and this is what it's for.
He's never had a day off in his life. Wojnarowski, that's why he walked away. He's like, I did not stop for months and months and months at a time. It is a 24/7 business.
So Shams is working overtime.
Overtime. Those guys are fielding calls every step of the day, every second of the day.
I mean, when did the Luka trade drop for Shams? Like 10 p.m. or something ridiculous in the middle of the night?
It's like 10:45 Eastern.
And he was ready.
You got to be ready at all hours.
Damn near in bed.
You got to be ready at all hours.
Is there anyone else or a personality on a different sport that you would want to see on a golf course like this? Not necessarily a celebrity event, but someone who would actually know how to analyze a game. I'd love to see Jeff Darlington do this.
Jeff Darlington
He's a huge
would be a
golfer.
fun one. My mind went to Barkley. We've seen Barkley do this
stuff.
stuff.
But he's like the comedic celebrity guy. Who would you want to actually see analyze a court? Tony Romo? He's done this. Tony
Romo is a great. Steph Curry would be a fun one too.
Steph Curry would be amazing.
Two great golfers.
Here we go.
They're great golfers, so you'd actually be able to get a sense of their level of play, their level of how they view it.
Jordan.
Professional athletes would be really fun because professional athletes are professional athletes at heart, and they are so hyper obsessed with being great. It trickles onto the golf course as well.
I'm excited. What was it, Jordan and NBC? I can't wait for that.
NBA coverage, yes.
I cannot wait for that.
But they're hyper obsessed. I'd be curious to see them on a golf course and see how they talk about it, how they react to it. Is it casual? More importantly, if it's not, how competitive do they get? Have they lost that fire? That's the interesting part. That was Kate Chumson, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo. Our 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union. Of course, it's the hot summer season in South Florida, and you got to make sure your AC unit is up to date. John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has been proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. Keeping your home cool and comfortable. And the best part, you can check out if you need to get your system checked and upgraded. Have one of their highly trained technicians come into your home, troubleshoot, diagnostic checks, make sure your system, doesn't even matter the brand or the age, is up to date. You can ask about the Cassidy Care Club, which has a maintenance program, offers year-round peace of mind. And if you didn't know this, how about this? 90% of system breakdowns for AC units could have been prevented had they been regularly checked 10 or less than 10 years old, too. So they have to be less than 10 years old. 90% of system breakdowns could have been prevented with regular checks. So make sure you go get yours checked. Get your free Cassidy check today on your AC unit. Visit CassidyAC.com for more information. We'll take a time out here, and weirdly enough, a little breaking news from the aforementioned Shams Charania, somebody who doesn't stop working as well. He had a little bit of a breakthrough that somebody bought the Lakers. Not just bought the Lakers, they bought the majority stake in the Lakers. $10 billion. We'll get into that on the flip side. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Wing Wednesday. Brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings. 30 bold flavors, ice-cold beer, handcrafted cocktails. Your home for sports is Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike, and when it comes to the NBA, I'm like a kid in a candy store. I want it all. Thursday, it's Game 6 of the NBA Finals. We go live to Indianapolis at 7:30 on your home for the NBA playoffs, ESPN 106.3.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Don't let the rising temperatures catch you off guard. Hey, it's Colin Russo, and since 1960, John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing has proudly served Palm Beach County, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Now's the time to upgrade your AC with great financing options. Plus, ask about the Cassidy Care Club, providing year-round peace of mind. Cassidy is part of our local community and supports organizations like the YMCA and the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. Keep cool with Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Find out more at CassidyAC.com.
Florida is looking to repeat as champions of hockey, and ESPN West Palm has got the final covered. Catch every exciting goal, bone-crunching hit, and jaw-dropping save right here on ESPN 106.3 and streaming live on the free ESPN app. You won't miss a minute of the action, no matter where you are. The final on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by Tullamore Dew. When it's game time, it is Tully time.
Breaking news on ESPN 106.3 is brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
This just in, we begin this hour with breaking news.
When news breaks, ESPN 106.3 has it covered.
We've had developments. ESPN 106.3 can now report.
When your vehicle breaks, St. Lucie Battery and Tire fixes it. Stay tuned to ESPN 106.3 for more breaking news. Brought to you by St. Lucie Battery and Tire.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most, getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation, 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. Ready to take on any terrain? The all-new 2025 Defender 110 P300S is here. Built for those who crave adventure without compromising on luxury. Lease the powerful 2025 Defender 110 P300S for just $889 per month for 36 months. Whether you're tackling the toughest roads or cruising the city, the Defender is ready for it all. Don't wait. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and experience the Defender like never before. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, the Buss family, famous for buying the Lakers back in 1967, I believe, for $70 million. Jerry Buss, that is. The Buss family has decided to sell the majority stake of the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter. Mark Walter, the CEO and chairman of the TWG Global. he also owns the Dodgers. So now you got the Dodgers owner expanding the empire and absorbing the Lakers. How much? How much did he do it for? $10 billion.
Wow.
The largest sale of a professional sports team in the world. $10 billion. The Celtics famously went for $6 billion. What was that, 2 years ago, a year ago? The Commanders, when Josh Harris, the Sixer guy, bought it off of Dan Snyder, that was $6 billion. The Rays also sold. A lot of professional teams sold. The Rays are getting sold. That's $1.7 billion. The Lakers, $10 billion.
It's crazy, Kyle.
That is a ridiculous number.
It's hard to put it into words, to be honest. I mean,
and now they're going to have a cash-rich owner who loves spending money. This is the Dodger owner we're talking about. This is somebody who will shell out money like you wouldn't believe.
Savvy, too, Kyle.
Great owner.
How about the savviness of the Shohei Ohtani contract?
It's a very well-run organization.
Yeah.
It's a very well-run organization.
And listen, fair play to the Buses. I'm not trying to take anything away with what they've been able to do with the team. You know, Dr. Bus bought the team and turned the Lakers into the Lakers, in my opinion. I understand Jerry West's a company, but you get the sentiment. Like, the Bus family was, how many championships do they have, Kyle? Out of the 16 of the 17 they got over there, whatever it may be. They were one of the best owners in sports, but this group right here, I think this is good news for the Lakers. This isn't me trying to poo-poo what the Buses has done. I want to make that clear. They were great owners, but I think this is good for the team. I do. I think these guys who bought the team, they're savvy. They know how to spend money. They rarely get burned on a deal.
They're going to spend a lot of money, especially with the Luka contract looming and trying to keep him around. They're going to willing to give up guarantees, cash deferrals, luxury tax. You got an owner now who's willing to spend that money. That is the greatest investment for rich people to get involved if you bought a professional sports team 25 years ago.
Cash cow. It's an absolute cash cow.
It makes you think what the Cowboys would go for. If Jones put it up?
Seriously. If this is going for $10 billion.
That would be a $12-13 billion sale.
Right. And a lot of, to wrap even more sports in it, like Real Madrid, who we just saw at the Club FIFA World Cup, they're like at 6, Kyle. So like, and that's worldwide. You know what? The fact that the Lakers went for 10 is absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy that they went for $10 billion. Like, and the fact that they're going to get the return on investment too. Like, they will make that back in tenfold.
Probably.
They will make that back in tenfold over the years. Now, I understand these billionaires have more money than God. I get it.
But they're doing this because it's a business.
And they're not
doing this
exactly.
to lose money.
They're doing it to make money, and they believe in it.
And I think it's such an underrated aspect of sports, just how much these owners have to do with the success of the team. The amount they're willing to shell out money, the amount of people that they're willing to bring around them to run the said organization, that all goes into account. And you got to think about the Dodgers. Yeah, I give the Dodgers a lot of flack because they get hurt all the time. But in terms of construction, in terms of infrastructure, that is as well run of a team as there is in professional sports. Lakers are probably in good hands here.
Yep. And
they're probably in good hands.
Outside of the dark years with the great Kobe Bryant when he was, let's be honest with ourselves, past it. They've been able, we talked a lot earlier about dynasties.
Well, their whole history, they've always had a big star there.
And geez, oh man, the 70s with Wilt, the 80s, the 90s when Shaq got there and Kobe, and then the early 2000s, Kobe again, LeBron in the bubble. This has been a team that has been relevant for almost a century.
It's a business.
Honest to God.
It is a firework.
And
that's what they are. They're the fireworks of professional sports.
It helps that it's in Hollywood and the stars, like the Jack Nicholsons of the world, they embrace it. They play into the LA factor.
Well, you got Mark Walter, who bought the team, who's going to own basically the foothold of LA.
Now let me ask you this. LeBron was very close with the Buss family and Jeannie specifically. Does this have anything to maybe LeBron, is this a retirement tour coming up?
From what I saw, Jeannie Buss is still going to be involved in the team in some sort of advisory role.
Fair.
So I don't think this is a bad blood, get the owners out of town
I wonder
they just want to sell it. If you come in with $10 billion, they're going to sell you.
Agreed. But I wonder what this group will do with LeBron. I do. Because LeBron, as we know, always has the player contracts where you could opt out and stuff. This is a savvy group. I don't know if they're going to let that fly.
I think they're going to let LeBron do whatever he wants. All right, when you're done, you're done. That's it. I think that you want to keep playing, please. We want you here. We'll pay you what you need to pay, what you want to get paid, and we're here to figure out the Luka thing and keep the Lakers cash cow golden. That's what I think their goal is.
Fair.
But I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know if they're going to make any major changes. But I think that the Lakers, other than that bubble championship, they've had talent. They've been big stars. They've made money. But in terms of being a successful franchise, hasn't been the best. They haven't been outstanding in the postseason. They won the bubble championship in 2020. Outside of that, the LeBron era for the Lakers the last 8-9 years has not been that great. So with new ownership in there, you wonder what's going to change. Is there going to be a tighter leash? Are there going to be new president of operations? Is there going to be a new the managing? Are there going to be more advisory roles? Or is it going to be a hands-on, hands-off approach?
And Colin, that's playing into what I basically wanted to ask is like, are things going to change a little bit? And I think so. To answer your question, I think so. I definitely think that LeBron, and I'm not saying he was the one calling the shots. I think Rob Pelinka's a good GM, so let's not get that persona. But I certainly think that there's going to be a lot more, I guess, structure. Is that the right word? A lot more structure.
Well, the thing is, the Dodgers let the they pay the players whatever they want. Just because they can.
But do they view LeBron as a Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts type of player?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, what do you guys call me, a LeBron? What? I don't know if we're allowed to say it over the air, but
they do.
I'm the biggest LeBron guy around.
Because he'll put butts in seats. I mean, I think they want it. They own the Dodgers now, and all of a sudden you get the Dodgers and the Lakers, you run LA.
But weren't they putting butts in seats when they had Nick Young chucking up threes from 40 feet out?
But now they want the team to be great. So now, all right, well,
do they think
seats.
Do they think with LeBron on the team is it going to make him great?
They're not getting rid of LeBron, Mike. What do you think? They're going to ship him to the Timberwolves? Why do you think this?
I think maybe they're going to get him out of the door a little bit. Push him out.
Push him out for why? Give me one reason.
To make Luka the face and get another star in there.
They have Luka as the face. They don't need to get rid of LeBron to keep Luka.
LeBron has a style of play. Do we agree on this? And LeBron teams are all similar in the sense he needs the ball. It needs to be played a certain way. They need shooters. They need this. They need that. I think fundamentally they might want to change things up with the team a little bit.
So you think the new owner is going to come in and tell Redick how to coach the team? No, he's not going to. No, Mike, don't nod. He's not going to do that.
Not to tell him how to coach the team. I just think he might have some different personnel. These guys like to make a splash. They like to get,
What he's going to do is he is going to cash front everything that they need to be covered in terms of acquisition of players. Whether that's going to be, hey, we'll overspend money because I'll deal with the money as long as you put a winning product out there. I think that's what it's going to be. And I'm not saying the bus were, reluctant to cut checks, but this is the most cash-heavy spender probably in professional sports. Now, what does that mean in terms of an NBA team with a salary cap? I think it means that you're going to have a team that is willing to shelf out a little bit more guaranteed money, maybe a little bit more attracted to players, but a little bit more inter-team structure and stability. I don't think he's going to tell Redick to change the team this way, and I don't think he's going to tell the most famous player in basketball to hit the road. I don't think he's going to do that.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's going to.
Fair enough. New ownership, new way of doing things. I wonder what's going to happen.
You think they're going to? They're not going to gut the Lakers and change.
Do they
everything.
think that team can win a championship? Do they think Luka and LeBron?
Yeah, they're going to but they're going to change.
I don't think Luka and LeBron together can win a championship.
He's
These
retiring.
people want to win now.
He's retiring in 2 years. What tells you that? They just bought the Lakers $10 billion. They want to win eventually.
Look what they've done with the Dodgers.
He's 40 years old. What is the positive in getting rid of him? You're not going to put together a championship roster in a year, right?
Maybe.
No, not maybe.
Maybe.
You're not doing that, Mike.
Dude, look at the way they run the Dodgers. They have no problem. They have no problem giving guys money and getting people in the door that they think can win a championship.
Yeah, but they're not shoving people out of the door. They're not shoving the best player on the team out the door. They haven't done that. They're just going to bring in more.
I think we're going to see a lot different LA team next year.
Oh, yeah, that has nothing to do with the owner.
I think we're going to see a lot different.
The general manager and the coach are not changing. Yes, they're going to change because they're going to change as a team because they need to change as a team. They need to change before this guy bought the team.
feel like these guys are hands-on. Maybe I'm wrong here. I think they're very hands-on in that we might see some things in the offseason.
I don't think so. Because I don't think you don't have coaches and general managers running out of town.
Maybe I'm
they don't
reaching.
have coaches and general managers running out of town.
Maybe I'm reaching with the LeBron thing. I think the fact of the matter I want to argue, I don't think LeBron and Luka can win a championship with what they got right now. They need to do something.
Okay.
And this group is very, very bullish on competing for championships.
Okay, but they're not going to get rid of the most important player on the team. And he is the most important player of the team.
More over Luka?
Yes. They're not getting rid of LeBron.
But is he?
I don't understand I don't even understand the rationale. They're not getting rid of him.
Okay.
They're not unless he wants to leave. They're not going to tell LeBron to leave. I'd be blown away. You want to talk about cash cow making money? Bad business decision? That's bad business decision 101. Because he sells the tickets, and he is still a great player. They're going to let him retire. LeBron, when are you going to be done? A year? 2 years? All right. We'll sign you for that.
You know LeBron would never be that transparent.
Probably not.
You know he
I'll
would
go year by
never
year.
be that
All right, we'll
transparent.
pay a year by year until you're done. Done. That's probably what it's going to be. We'll front load the contract, whatever it may be. You want to win some Padel tickets? Yes. Pro Padel League is here in South Florida, June 19th to June 22nd at Wayfair Arena in Miami. Packed tournament with some of the best Padel players in the world. It's this weekend. Again, in Miami. You can get tickets at ProPadelLeague.com. But more importantly, we are giving away tickets. A 4-pack, courtesy of ESPN West Palm. How we're going to do this? We're going to do it. I'm thinking caller number 4. Caller number 4 gets a 4-pack of the Pro Padel League tickets. 4 tickets to the Pro Padel League this weekend at Wayfair Arena in Miami. All you got to do is call in 888-760-3776, the number to get into the program. Caller number 4 gets a 4-pack to the Pro Padel League. 888-760-3776. Once again, 888-760-3776. Call in now. Caller number 4, Pro Padel League, 4-pack of tickets. Taking a time out on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur. And most certainly, never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
She ain't gon' tie me down. Why you on the road? Carrying all the shirts, all the hats, all the clothes.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo closing out the program here on a Wednesday edition, June the 18th, 2025, live from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. You get Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, and Cade Shumsden helping us out instead of Christian Cap behind the glass at the City Play Studios. Well, you got no more Stanley Cup, But you do have the NBA Finals to look forward to. You do have the College World Series closing out. You do have the MLB regular season. You have the Club FIFA World Cup. You might as well go download that Hard Rock Bet app.
No better time to get started. 10-1. That's what the Panthers are. Get some good odds there for the Panthers to win the 2026 NHL Stanley Cup. You can download the app today on the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, wherever you get your apps. How about the game that just happened in the Club FIFA World Cup? If you would have bet the draw in Al Ali versus the mighty Real Madrid, you would have been a very rich man. Get started today. That is a Hard Rock Bet app offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in the state of Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you're concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. That is 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Colin, something we barely talked about today because of the Panthers and all the news that is the news dumps that has been able to happen. The NBA Finals. You know, the NBA Finals, we have the Indiana Pacers really on the ropes. Tyrese Halliburton. Colin, I saw the news today that the Pacers are planning on maybe Halliburton not playing. Listen, I want this to go 7, and I know I've been down on the series. and the teams in it. But I'm a basketball fan, and I want to see a Game 7. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to get my wish on this.
I think we're going to see a Game 7. I do. I think they're going to play well, with or without Halliburton. And it doesn't sound like he's going to play, but I think that desperation, that has been a team that has responded to adversity quite well throughout the season. I think they're actually going to do well, and I think they're going to force it. I don't think they're going to win 7, but I think that series will go 7. We'll loop in good friend of program. He's the Good Karma Brands president. He is a Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. It is Steve Pollitziner joining us now, who blew us off yesterday, by the way. But we're happy to have him on board now. Steve, welcome in. What do you got for us?
Sorry about that, guys, but great to be with you all today.
Now, Steve, we got a championship to celebrate. I guess it's good timing because we talked yesterday before Game 6. After Game 6, Florida Panthers 2 in a row. Steve, you're a South Florida guy yourself. How has this, I guess, stacked up to some of the great moments that South Florida has had sporting-wise in the last, let's say, 10, 15 years, 20 years?
I just think the amazing thing, like last year when they won, it was, oh, my God, like the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup. I remember that sentence, and for the next week, I was saying to people, you know, for those that have been in South Florida for, you know, a long time, as long as I have, said, like, could you believe it? We would never think we would say that statement, the Panthers, because they had just been through so much as an organization, and they just never seemed to get it right, and they had the playoff futility and the billion coaches, and didn't seem to have the ownership investment from the previous year. Now, you're going from, and I don't want to just say anyone can win a championship, but there's a huge difference between one championship and back-to-back championships. Back-to-back championships becomes like perennial. It becomes dynasty. That becomes foundational. And even when the Lightning did it a few years ago it was like, wow, look what they're doing. I just don't think the Panthers can ever do that. They are now that. They're now the model. They're the team that people look at. They've developed the fan base. And I think it's just awesome. And it's great to see and great that we have it. And this whole shift in the NHL to the warm weather places are the standard now. It's wild.
Steve, I'm happy you brought up the dynasty because I see the Panthers as a dynasty. I also saw the Miami Heat that only won 2 in 4 years as a dynasty. Colin kind of is on the other side of the spectrum. Got to win 3, got to consistently be good for years after as well. Maybe win 1, 2, 3 years down the line. But I see this Florida Panther team as a dynasty. Do you?
It appears that they're set up to be able to be that.
Yeah.
So you don't think, Steve, you don't think 2 and 3 years, sorry to cut you off, Uncle Steve, but you don't think 2 and 3 years and being there 3 years straight, that's not enough for a dynasty? Because I think it is.
It's right on the line, but no. I think you got to win more. Like 2 and 3, being there 3 years is huge, but I think dynasty's got to be 3 wins.
Steve, what do you remember about what the Florida?
Never really thought about it before.
Yeah.
The minimum standard for a dynasty, I think it's got to be 3 wins.
But
yeah,
in today.
My pushback, Uncle Steve, you wouldn't call the Heat a dynasty then with LeBron, Bosh, and Wade because they only won 2.
They weren't. I mean, they underwhelmed at the end of the day because they lost they lost twice. LeBron said they were in his opening press conference what they were going to get to. But the Heat were an era like the Spurs, not to that level, but you had when you put the Shaq and Wade in there as well, that was an era of top flight play.
Steve, what do you remember?
Dynasty, I think, has to do it longer.
Yeah, Steve,
now, the Warriors.
Oh, wow, okay. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, Steve, you're talking about the Warriors?
Yeah, because they were in the finals for so many years.
So I guess, yeah, there's an expectation of if you're there, if you're in the mix, you got to win a couple, number one, but number two, you still got to have appearances. So I think, yes, the Warriors are a clear, the Patriots, a clear dynasty. Even the Celtics lost a few. The Lakers lost a few. A lot of these great teams have lost a few. Steve, I want to ask you this. Florida Panthers 10, 15 years ago, were they sort of an afterthought in the eyes of the South Florida fan? Even let's bring it back 5 years ago. How has that changed in, from your perspective, being down here the whole time?
I don't know if you guys can really embrace this, but the Panthers were not very different than the Marlins at the Marlins' low point. They were a team that struggled developing an identity because you had to. If you were a hockey fan in South Florida, you probably came from somewhere else. And it's still that to a degree, but with the Rangers, the Islanders, when the Flyers, were down, it was tough to get the home ice advantage, for the Panthers. Tickets were given away, and there was nothing sustainable. Right? They had outside of Roberto Luongo. And there was literally and you go all the way back, right, to the Rats, that run. But then they had 15 years of just absolute futility. And now it's awesome. It's just great to see. And it's always the struggle that teams in South Florida have when you live in a community that also has a lot of transplants. It's hard to build your own identity. And they have. And it's great.
And a good thing about, I guess, building that community is the parade aspect of winning championships. Now, it's not in Miami. It's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Are you a parade person? Have you been to many great parades, championship-winning parades in your life? Are there any that are notable? And are you interested in going to the one in Fort Lauderdale in a couple days?
Yeah, not a huge parade guy, but that's where they are. They're a Broward County team. I mean, that's who's funded them. That who stayed with them. It doesn't mean there aren't fans in Miami-Dade and Palm Beach. Of course they are. But that's where they are. That's where they are. And I think it's appropriate for their parade to be there. I don't know. Parades to me kind of feel like going to like a NASCAR race or something. It's like you just see them for 2 seconds. Then what do? Do you move your seat? Do you run down the street to get another look-see? I've never been a huge parade guy.
So Uncle Steve, you're not going to be at the team party that ESPN West Palm is deciding to throw at the parade that I'm trying to change my flight to be at?
I guess I don't think I've been invited.
Wow. Steve, how the times have changed.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
I'm inviting you. I just heard about it today. I'm going to invite you. How about that, Uncle Steve? You want to come with me?
Oh, thank you. Thanks. Thanks for the invite.
When
is it?
I'll pick you up Sunday. I'm getting in probably.
Oh, right.
I got a wedding over the weekend
Steve's
on Saturday.
Not going, Mike. Steve's not
Steve,
going.
you're not going.
He's not going.
Steve, should I just shut up? You're not going.
He's not going with you.
I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Looking forward to Steve going with Mike down to the parade in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday.
We can smoke stogies in the car. Uncle Steve, when you join, your picture is you on the golf course with a stogie. I got a stogie in honor of the Panthers winning. How about that? I plan on.
Well, I like that. I like it. Look, you're from somewhere else. You didn't have a hockey team,
right?
Nobody, and you've leaned in. That is what the upside of a transplant community is. It's, hey, I wasn't as big a hockey guy before. I didn't have a team, or I haven't lived where there was a team, and this is what people are into. That's how you build it.
Absolutely.
That's how the Heat got built. People moved from somewhere else where their teams were terrible for years, And the Heat stole that generation of fans that had come from where the Knicks had been miserable, the Nets were miserable, the Sixers were miserable, and they stole fans who liked the game.
Steve.
And it's great to see the Panthers do that, too.
Yeah, the Panthers, champions of the Stanley Cup, joined now by Steve Politzino, the Good Karma Brands president, Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. Steve, you were just in L.A. a couple days ago. The Lakers were sold for a whopping $10 billion. The Buss family out. Mark Walter, who basically runs the Dodgers, owns the Dodgers, stepping in as majority owner of the Lakers. That is a $10 billion price tag for a professional sports team. $6.1 billion was the previous high note for American teams, at least, with the Celtics. I mean, the Lakers being $4 billion valued more, is this a little bit of an overpay? I mean, is it almost mind-numbing just how much these teams are going for? It makes you think about the Cowboys. What's your reaction to the Lakers being sold? Is that actually going to make a difference to what we see on the court?
Few things on the Lakers. They may never change hands again. There are so few people that have the money to be at this level that if you're in the mix, you have to go all the way for it. It's L.A. It's the Lakers. I know new standards continue to be set, but look how critical the Lakers are, and they are the Cowboys. They are the same thing to me. They are teams that every year there's so much attention towards, there is so much hype towards, there's inflated expectations around, because everybody wants them to be in the mix and wants them to be competitive. And they're just one of those very few teams. It's the market size, and it's the superstars. The Lakers always are going to have superstars. We are a partner of the Lakers on our sister brand, the ESPN LA, and I happened to be there yesterday, and they talked about how it is Lakers talk every single day. Off season, in season, summer, doesn't matter. They yesterday, before this was all announced, they yesterday are going through the Summer League Lakers schedule and talking about how they're going to talk about it on the air and in the community. That shows you what the passion for the Lakers is.
Yeah, it's a Laker town. Some people say it's a Dodger town, but the Lakers still, when they're great, are still that focal point. But now you get the Dodgers money, and the Dodgers have had the deep pockets, and now the Lakers can deal with the luxury tax and the guarantees and all the stuff that cash-rich owners have to deal with at the NBA level. They got somebody who's willing to spend it. Steve, why don't you tell us what's going on with Duffy's?
Oh, guys, 80 TVs at Duffy's. I mean, that's probably where you should go to watch the parade. I'm sure it's going to be on like 40 of the 80 TVs. What else is on Sunday?
I mean, I'm not going to be in town, but I mean, Mike's going to be at the parade. You said no to Mike when he invited you.
You didn't want to go with me, Uncle Steve. And listen, you could also go to Duffy's on Sunday, Uncle Steve, and watch the NBA Finals if there's a possible Game 7.
Good point.
If you're still playing. Yeah, if you're still playing, that's a great point. But yeah, WsMVP.com. You have all the incredible benefits, the 2-for-1, the award-winning wings and burgers, and a great place to go watch whatever it is. Do you think Duffy's was showing Colin's race?
I wish.
I don't think they do that. Yeah, Steve, we haven't talked about that. Yeah, I don't think they do share that. I don't think the half Ironmans are publicized television. I don't think TNT's paying for that.
Are you saying there's no video stream? Your parents weren't video streaming like that, and like would see you once every 3 hours when you'd come through?
No, they weren't even there. So
Steve, hang on. All joking aside, how about the kid?
I know. That's what I.
How about the kid doing that? Hang on.
Video streaming you.
The kid did that in 6.5 hours. How about that? What an accomplishment!
Not bad.
What an accomplishment,
Steve. I got to double it. Madison, Wisconsin, September 7th.
So, are you overall happy with your results?
Yeah. I wish the run went better, but everything else I thought went just fine.
What was the over/under number?
I was thinking 6.5, and I got 637.
I mean, you're right there.
Right, but it was the run. The run was hell. The run was constructed. Yeah.
What's the worst number that anyone did?
Oh, probably 8-9 hours.
And what's the best?
3 hours and 35 minutes, Steve.
Yeah, those are like professionals.
Yeah.
They're not even human.
You can't even compare. It's somebody who swam a 1.2 miles in 24 minutes, which is basically Olympic speed. And then they were 30 miles an hour average on a bike for an hour and 58 minutes. And then they ran a 6-minute pace half marathon to finish it all off in 94-degree heat in Boulder, Colorado. That's brutal.
That is. Colin, I'm impressed that you did it, buddy. I'm proud of you. I saw you rocking all the gear of your partners and your endorsement partners, first class, and incredible that you went out and did that. Hey, people can make fun of you. People can say whatever they want. That you're doing Ironmans, that's a very small group.
Yeah, I got
and I'm not in that group. I am impressed.
Now, Steve, I appreciate that. I got a fold in 11 and a half weeks, and then once that is done, I think I will hang the cleats up. It's just too much on the body. But, Steve, we appreciate it. As always, looking forward to talking again next week, and enjoy the weekend, all right?
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve Politziner, the Good Karma Brands president of Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, big thanks to Cade Chumsden. Handing out Patel tickets, 888-760-3776. We only had 3 callers. Let's get to caller number 4. Caller number 4 gets a 4-pack of Padel tickets down in Miami, June 19th through June 22nd. You get a 4-pack, the Pro Padel League in Miami. Call now. Go to caller number 2. Caller number 2 will get those 4-pack. Go take advantage now. 888-760-3776. 4-pack Pro Padel League. Call right now. 888-760-3776. With Colin Russo saying so long on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and